Apparently, Samwise Gamgee is the go-to actor for Christian movies these days. Do You Believe is the name of the movie, the latest faith-based film to hit theaters from the same people that brought you God's Not Dead, which, when you hear that, will probably right there make your decision whether or not you think this movie is going to be amazing or completely awful. Let me warn you from assuming there are some major differences between this one and God's Not Dead, and we'll get into those in a second. First, a little bit about what it's about. It's kind of like God's Not Dead meets Crash. You know, it's kind of like the Christian movie meets one of those movies with a bunch of different stories interweaving and, you know, telling several stories that are supposed to kind of culminate together. And as for that, it accomplishes it fairly well. In fact, we'll just go into some of the stuff I liked about this movie. I think they did a good job with the plot mechanics of this. I think the stories weave in and out of each other well. I think the characters are well drawn, and you understand each person's part and who they are and how it relates, and you're not confused, which is a real risk when you do a movie like this, is to kind of have that confusion, and I thought that was good. Also, and I'm not going to give anything away, nice little curveball at the end that I didn't see coming that I thought was a really nice story movement and added some emphasis to what they were talking about. You think it's going one direction, it goes a different direction, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I did enjoy that. So overall, like the structure of this script and the plot and the mechanics of everything, well done, nicely done. Now we'll get into the stuff that doesn't work, and it may sound a little bit like a broken record on some of this stuff. You know, I think a lot of it has to do with this. Let me just start out by saying this, and I've said this before on my reviews of faith-based films. I'm a Christian. You know, I come from that background. I've embraced it fully. I believe that Jesus is the Son of God, and when He died, it saved me from my sins, and that is my faith. That is what I believe. So I come to these things a little interestingly as a movie critic who is also a Christian, to look at it and to go, okay, we need to separate the message you're giving, which, by the way, in this one is a straight up Jesus will save you message. Do you believe is a message about God and Jesus and the faith of Christianity. So there's that. Separate that from the movie making of it, right? The putting the movie together. And I feel like as a movie critic, that's my job, right? To focus on that stuff. So I will just briefly say that as far as the message goes, that's going to be one of the primary things that you come away either liking or disliking. If you dislike the Christian message, you'll come away hating the movie. If you embrace the Christian faith, as I do, I think you'll enjoy that message part of it. And by enjoy, I mean you'll agree with it. It is different than God's Not Dead in that in God's Not Dead, I think it painted straw men, put up people like atheists into this position that they don't necessarily have to be. There are a lot of people who believe differently than we do, that are really cool people and really good people and really smart people. But in this case, I think they did a better job of just kind of portraying these people as human beings and not necessarily as evil atheists or something like that. So I really did appreciate that about this movie as well. And then when you get beyond that, when you get beyond the message part of it, that's where it starts to fall apart. It's some of the same predictability, some of the same stuff that happens in the acting department where it just feels like everything is a little bit too forced. Everything's a little bit too harsh in many ways as far as sermonizing and message, and you know, they're pounding a lot of that stuff home, and it loses a lot of the truth that could be conveyed just in the story itself. And I know I've said that before, but it's kind of the same thing here. So overall, I feel like Do You Believe is one of those movies, if you're a Christian, you'll probably end up loving it. If not, it's probably going to annoy the snot out of you just because of the message. If you're looking at it as far as movie-going experience, it's got a decent plot, the structure of it works really well, and some nice surprises in there, but overall deals with some of the same technical issues that a lot of these faith-based films deal with. So overall, I'm going to go somewhere around a C+. That's where I would land. Thanks for checking this out. Doing something a little bit different this time as far as having places to click on the screen. They've got a new thing now called cards. There's just a little eye up in the corner, and you just click on that and there'll be links to other reviews that I've done recently, links to subscribe, all that stuff. I think actually I'll put the link to subscribe up here, and then in there you can check out, you know, links to other stuff, links to the website. All that stuff will be if you just click the little eye up there, and I'll give you a few seconds here to do that. But thank you for watching. Feel free to comment. Let's have a conversation on this stuff.